I just want to mention here quickly that Excel has a ton of functions, far more than we could possibly cover, in one series of videos. But what I'm doing is I'm picking some of the more common ones, some of the more popular ones, things that people do use or have a need to use, and maybe they don't know how, that you can use in your day-to-day activities with Excel. What we learned in the last video was how to use the text function and get it to format a series of digits to a specific, predetermined arrangement. Now what we're going to do is apply that to this existing formula where we're calculating a retail value and rounding that up to a specific amount of digits. And as you might guess, we're going to do this by embedding these existing functions, the results of those functions, in this text function. What's happening here is the text function is going to work on a specific number. It's going to work on one number, and that is the result of these functions. Okay, so what we're doing is we're building up something fairly complex because everything is based on one single number here. It's all based on whatever value is in F4. And we're going to take that value, multiply it by 150%, return that result to the round function, and whatever result the round function gives us, we're going to take that result and give it to the text function. And then the text function is going to convert that number, that numeric value, to text and format it just like you see here with a dollar sign and any zeros and the decimal and all that kind of stuff, and make it look like a real currency value. Now remember, I need to interject here real quick. We could convert this number to currency, which is fine. Okay, but even though we can perform arithmetic with it, we can't do some of the things that we have to do later on in this spreadsheet. So that's what we're having to alleviate here by leaving this as a general format right now, but then just making it look like currency after the fact. Okay, so again, the result of the round function we're going to put inside of this text function. One serious trick that this is a tip that's very important. Most problems that occur with nesting functions like this have to do with the wrong number of parentheses or misplaced parentheses. So that's something that's very critical. You want to make sure that you get your parentheses in the right places. And I'll show you. Let's go ahead and click again, just to the right of the equal sign. To add this function, we're going to do text and then our opening parenthesis, and the entire value, the result of this round function, that is our value. So we're going to go all the way to the end and type our comma, and that's it. And then we have to put our format. I left this on the screen so you could see the layout there. Whatever number you want to send to the text function, and then however you want to format it. So let's format it just like that. 0,000 decimal 00 double quote, and then our closing parenthesis. Okay, so it's a little bit more complex, but when we hit enter, there we go. Now notice that 0 there. That's because we specified that in the format and it doesn't exist. There are ways to deal with that that we'll perhaps look at later on, but for right now, the easiest way to deal with it, since we know that none of our values are going to be over $1,000, we can just get rid of those, the leading 0 and the comma, and there we go. But that is something very important to note here. Whenever you format dollar sign, if I do a bunch of zeros here, okay, then I actually get those zeros. The only way you can get around that, let's just put 1 0, and then what Excel will do, what the text function will do, is it notes that, and anything above that it'll use. So it'll place the actual digits there. And again, there are ways to get around that that perhaps we will look into, whether, determining whether or not the number is above 1,000 or below 1,000, and then tweaking the formatting, based on that. But for now, we have successfully formatted this number. We have taken and calculated 150% of that number, and then we have converted it into text, and we're displaying it in this predetermined format. What you'll see is that you can take the knowledge of this, the knowledge of these functions, and you can apply those to anything that you want. And we'll take a look at that in the next video.